lost my voice in the interception Saturday, so sounding maybe I'm struggling with my voice now. That's okay. The new football coach for the UCF Knights, Josh Heupel, welcome, congratulations. This has to be an incredible day. What's going through your mind?
Yeah, it's fast and furious, but extremely excited about the opportunity that's been afforded to myself and my family, and really looking forward to getting to know everybody here in the area and getting our boots on the ground and start recruiting. What
can you share about how this came about? It's had to be a crazy few days. What's it been like for you?
Yeah, I think the process is always faster than people probably imagine, but extremely excited, that Danny was able to get in contact with me and was able to interview, yesterday, and the process unfolded pretty quickly from there.
What's your thoughts? You're busy up in Missouri with a great offense and a wonderful turnaround. What did you know about the Knights this season as the year unfolded?
Well, I think what everybody knows nationally is that these kids come to play every single week. They play extremely hard. It's a great turnaround, what Coach Frost and his staff and the players inside of the locker room were able to do here the last 2 years. The thing that I didn't know about this university when I first interviewed for it is that the best days are just ahead of us. This is the largest university in the state. Fastest growing city in America, and this university is really young, so the best days are just ahead of us with the vision that our administration has for the football program.
Expand on that if you can, football-wise. Incredible talent in Florida. There's a young team that you inherit here. Where do you see the program right now, and where does the growth process go?
Well, right now it's a conference champion, and championship years are special. You don't ever take those for granted. I think it says a lot of special things about the kids that are inside of the locker room. The reason this is the best job in America to me is the reasons that I mentioned before about the city that we live in the university and its growth project. But really, you're in fertile recruiting territory. This is as good a place as you're going to find in the country within the radius that we have here to go find elite players that can help you not just get to a level that we're at right now today, but to push this program forward and really sustain it for the years to come.
This is a unique transition because you're not inheriting a team that struggled in the field. What is your message to this football team, both right now and then as you look towards 2018 with spring practice?
Well, obviously the thing that they need to focus on right now is finishing the 2017 season in a great way. They have an opportunity to go play a good football team in the Peach Bowl and finish this season, cap it off with a big victory. My message to the players was simple. There's a message about what we're going to be defensively and what we're going to be offensively, but really it's about who we're going to be inside of the walls when they walk into the door. We're a program that's going to compete extremely hard every day when we walk in, and it's really about the relationships that we form. I think college football is really about taking 18-year-old boys and turning them into 22, 23-year-old grown men, and so it's a 4 or 5 year relationship, but we want it to be something that lasts for the next 40 years of their life.
People talk about culture, style of play, your former quarterback offensive background. So if somebody says, Coach, what are we going to look like on offense?
We're going to play fast. We're going to snap the ball quickly. We're going to put our skill players in positions to make plays. We want to be physical. We want to run the ball north and south. We want to throw it vertically as well. But we want to take advantage of the skill set that we have here. And obviously, what you do personnel-wise, as far as if you're in 2 tight ends or in 4 wide-out sets, that's all predicated by the personnel that you have inside of the locker room and who's going to go out and compete, who you can trust with the ball, who's going to play at a championship level. Our style of play is going to be fast and furious. On the defensive side of the ball, we want to be extremely aggressive. I think defensive football and college football right now is about creating negative plays and also getting the football, go attack the football. So those are a couple of things that we're going to look for on the defensive side of the ball.
Been announced Randy Shannon's going to be your defensive coordinator. Share a little bit about that, what makes Randy unique and right for this job.
I've been around Randy a few times, competed against him, an offense that I've been on against his defense. Respect in a great way what he's able to do on the defensive side of the ball. He's multiple bases out of a 3-man front, can slide to a 4-man front, multiple pressures, and then changes up his coverages on the back end as well. So he presents a lot of problems in game planning for him. The biggest thing about Randy is that he loves kids. He's great at developing relationships, and he's a fantastic teacher of the game. And so when you put all those things together, it's a pretty special opportunity to have him on our staff, and that doesn't even get into his ability to recruit this state. He's basically born and raised here, has ties throughout the state, especially in the south side, and is going to be a great recruiter for us as well.
The Josh Heupel quarterback at Oklahoma. Tell me about that guy back then that enjoyed success and won a national championship. And as you look back, what role did that play in the coach you are now?
Well, I think, not just that, but my evolution as a player. Coming out of junior college, not highly recruited, going to a program that hadn't been to a bowl game in 5 years previously, I believe. 2 years later, you're able to win a national championship. There's so many lessons in the transformation of a program that take place that I think I carry with me today. The discipline, the selling of one vision, everybody being on board together and pulling the rope the same direction. Those are some of the great lessons that I learned there, and then also throughout my entire coaching career.
Biggest people that have impacted you, whether it's previous coaches, family members, who are some of the people that have had the biggest impact on you?
On the coaching side of it, really, it's my dad. My dad was a Division II defensive coordinator and then head coach up in South Dakota for the longest time. So since the time I was 5 years old, I've been driving to 2 days with him, running around the practice field, probably getting into some trouble as well. And so he's still a guy that I talk to constantly on the phone, and he'll be at every one of our games. So I'll get get a lesson after the ball game about what I should have done. But I think Coach Odom, what he's done at Missouri and the transformation of that program from when he took over to where it is now is something that's been big in my coaching career as well.
Had the family take the news that Orlando's now going to be home?
Kids were jacked up, thinking that they might be living next to Mickey and Minnie. But my wife is a coach's wife's dream. She's all in. She loves developing relationships with players as well, and extremely excited about this opportunity here in Orlando.
Again, I know it's a unique month, but for you, as far as filling out a staff and things like that, what's that process? How long do you hope to take to do that and everything?
That's going to unfold here in the coming days and into the next week. You want to make sure that you get the right people, but our staff is going to be made up of guys that are passionate about the game of football, that are great teachers, but most importantly, love developing relationships with players. I think that's critical in today's world, that players understand it's not just about what happens between the white lines. That's important, and we got to go win football games, but that's not the basis of our relationship. I think they'll play a lot harder for you, and your team will go a lot further if they understand that you genuinely care about them and their well-being for the next 40 years of their life. And so the ability to do that is important, and then obviously you got to be able to go out and recruit.
How big of a factor, the size of this campus you mentioned, but the commitment to facilities and that arms race that's out there, how big of a factor was that as you looked and said, is this the right place for me, to see the commitment by Danny White, the donors and others stepping up to see where we are today and what they want to continue to grow to be?
The leadership at this university being harmonious and being synchronized in their vision and what they want to do, going out and trying to create the future, not waiting for the future to happen, but go make it happen, is something that was extremely critical to me in looking at a place that I wanted to become a head coach at. This is a destination job. This thing can be one of the elite, if not the elite programs in the country, and I really believe that that's what lies ahead of us in our future.
First time head coach here, and everything you just said, and taking over a football team that had great success. Give me the excitement. I know we won't play a football game in 2018 for quite some time, but I'd imagine you've had a moment or two to think about it, that this is a good spot. I want to keep on building this thing.
Absolutely. You look at, there's not very many guys that we lose on either side of the ball. Obviously, there's a couple holes that you got to fill, but I think the opportunity to take a team that has some of the characteristics that you need to be a championship football team is extremely exciting to me. Now it's about building the right staff so that when they walk into the building, we're harmonious and teaching our kids the same way, and then continuing to push forward, understanding that a conference championship, winning the bowl game, winning a New Year's Six bowl game is important. But now let's take this program to the next level.
And it's 82 and sunny today, right?
Yeah,
it's good.
Absolutely.
Get a good look. He's the new football coach, Josh Heupel of your UCF Knights.